All right, y'all ready?
Y'all ready for this?
Oh, that
What?
see, I miss '90s basketball when that was the pre-tip song for every basket,
Everything ever.
every before the start of every sporting event. You heard that.
It wasn't even, it didn't matter the level from high school, from Little League, all the way to professional. That song was played.
Like, like they were asking if we were ready for this, as if it was something to be prepared for. You know, like
And you're like, it's a flag football game, but I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Live from Brooklyn, New York. Come on, whoa. You're listening to the Culture 316 podcast.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Jay the Creative.
I am Mr. Money and Magic, the icon Angelo Carter, First Class Carter, hashtag, Ariana.
You done?
Oh, yeah, I'm done.
I'm Whitney.
And welcome to another episode of Culture 316 Season 2, Episode 20. And also, this marks 3 years of the Culture 316 podcast. So we just wanted to take the time out and thank all of the people who have subscribed, liked, commented, shared a post, whether it be through our social media or anywhere where we stream our content, whether that be YouTube, Facebook Live, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Yeah, we just wanted to thank each and every person for kind of tagging along the movement. Any of y'all got anything to say?
Personally, I just want to thank every other podcast who has supported us over this journey.
Absolutely.
That long number of podcasts, Jobber Tears, the Your Sport, any
Your Sport.
So under the Jobber Tears network, there's way too many because they be working. Hashtag period. But the Jobber Tears podcast, those wrestling girls, and just a whole bunch of the other people that have definitely helped us get to where we are today, and hopefully we continue to grow with you guys. Big shout outs to, of course, Whitney and Nora for doing an excellent job revamping our social media.
Absolutely.
Where it was 2 years ago to where it is now is a lot better. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. But I'm just very excited for what the future holds for us.
Absolutely. Whitney,
Yeah.
do you have anything?
I just want to thank people for not booing my art off the internet. Sharing art is very scary and wasn't something I did before starting to post on Culture. So thanks for not booing at me and making fun of my art.
Yeah.
Of course.
It made me get creative again, and I've had fun.
Yay! We love it. We love to see it.
We love to see it.
Creativity. We love it.
But yeah, thank you guys for everyone who's been a part of the Culture 316 movement family in the past 3 years. Thank you. But we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into the show. We're going to start with our first trending wrestling topic.
Hello. The curtain jerk. We're going to start with the thing that I've been working on for mad long.
Okay, my bad. I tweaked. I thought we was going to start with the...
You just don't pay attention to the chat.
I don't.
Don't pay attention. Because I've been talking about this curtain jerk that I've been working on all day. Ridiculous. I'm like, can y'all see my screen? Yes.
All right, bet. So we're going to start with the curtain jerk.
Thank you. Put some respect on the work that I've been doing.
Is you tight? You okay?
Are you talking to your cat?
Yeah, he sneezed.
Oh, my cat sneezes all the time. It's fine. All right. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. All right. Y'all can see
Hey,
me.
it's me.
Hey, Whitney. And it's me. All right. We are going to play a little game called Guess That WrestleMania City. I should have added some sound effects, but I didn't really have time for that.
Right.
So, here are the rules.
Okay.
I will give you a main event from any of the past 36 WrestleManias. You have to correctly guess the corresponding city and number to that main event.
Ooh.
Yes.
Numbers?
So, For whatever you guess correctly, so you can get up to 3 points. You'll get a point for the city, guessing properly the city and guessing properly the number. You get an extra point for the actual winner of the main event, if you can give me the winner. Pay attention to the wording, because there'll be some clues in the wording of the match that'll give it away. So some matches may have special guest referees, some matches may not, stuff like that.
Numbers.
Like I said, you get bonus points for guessing the winner, and the winner will get a t-shirt of your choice from WWE Shop or Pro Wrestling Tees.
It's lit.
From me. So, yeah, there you go. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Y'all ready for this?
The opening match. The opening one is very easy, but someone may not get the city properly. So, we have Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, winner take all. I'm gonna start with Whitney.
Where was it? East Rutherford? Is that technically where MetLife is? WrestleMania 36. That's one. And Becky won. Becky 2 belts.
All right. You said WrestleMania 36. Sorry.
Oh, did I? Oh.
Jordan, what?
It was East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium, 35.
Ding. And the winner of this match?
Becky 2 belts.
Becky Lynch, Becky 2 belts.
Ding. All right, currently in the lead, that is WrestleMania 35, MetLife Stadium, and East Rutherford, New Jersey,
Tongues.
The shadow of New York City, as they called it last year. And the winner was Becky Lynch. The next match number 2, we have Triple H versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Whitney, starting with you, where was this match held? What city was this match held in? Oh, no, matter of fact, let's do it differently. What WrestleMania did this match happen at?
I don't know numbers. 32. No, it's older than that, isn't it?
Is that your final answer?
30. Final answer. I don't know.
City.
Where was 30? Was 30 in New York or was 30 in Texas? Where was... You're asking too many questions. Randy Orton won. There you go. That's my final answer.
Okay, so you said 30, Randy Orton won, and 30 took place in New Orleans.
I don't know.
Jordan.
I'm gonna say Randy Orton won.
Okay.
WrestleMania 24.
Okay.
And that took place in Orlando.
I'm sorry, but you guys are both wrong. This match took place at Houston,
25!
Texas,
Oh!
at the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. Otherwise known as the very first WrestleMania that I was ever a wrestling fan for.
Okay.
Yep.
I said Texas or New York, okay?
You said Texas. I'll give you half a point for that.
Wait, who won?
And the winner was Triple H. He retained the WWE Championship.
Wow.
He was still champion that late?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The next match.
That was 10 years ago, wasn't it? Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I know. Next match. We have Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship. All right, Jordan.
If you would put a picture in there of the match, I feel like I'd be better at
I'm going to go Bret, Shawn. This was the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. Mm-hmm. That was in Anaheim, California, at the Arrowhead Pond, I believe. And the winner of that match was Shawn Michaels. Because that was the Boyhood Dream match.
Yeah, it was at 12, and it was Shawn Michaels that won. If you're saying it's in California, I'll take your word for it.
So funny.
It was a good match.
It was. That was a really good match.
All right, you guys are both correct, as it took place in Anaheim, California, WrestleMania 12, and the winner, Shawn Michaels. All right. Currently in the lead is Jordan with 6 points, and Whitney with 5.
Neck and neck.
Neck and
Next
neck.
match. Still anyone's game. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Jordan, since you're in the lead,
All
where did
right.
this WrestleMania take place? Which WrestleMania was this?
This was WrestleMania. Hold on, let me put the camera on me. This was WrestleMania 19. The winner was Brock Lesnar because he damn near killed himself off a shooting star press, and this was in Seattle.
Whitney.
I remember Brock almost dying. Yeah, Brock won it. Was it that long ago? I'll say 20 just for the... Even though I know it wasn't 20. Just to spice it up. But I know Brock won.
And where did it take place?
I don't know. I don't know cities. I don't...
Well, Jordan is 100% correct, as it took place at WrestleMania 19 in Seattle, Washington. And the winner was Brock Lesnar. Jordan is currently in the lead with 9 points. 9 to Whitney 6. All right.
Hey, I got Brock Lesnar. Do not...
Oh, no. I gave you the point for that.
Oh, yeah. I was at 5. Okay.
All right. Next match. Triple H versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. Whitney, what WrestleMania was this?
This was WrestleMania 17, 18. I don't know. WrestleMania 20 in Hollywood. This was Triple H won this.
You said 20 in Hollywood and Triple H won?
Is that where 20 was? Yeah.
So this was so Batista won, right? It was WrestleMania in Hollywood.
He did.
But it was WrestleMania 21. And it was specifically in Los Angeles at the Staples Center.
Staples Center.
Jordan, you are correct. Los Angeles, California, WrestleMania 21.
Woo!
And the winner was Drax.
Yeah, Batista did win that.
So you guys are both wrong. Because the winner was Drax.
Goodbye.
Drax he wasn't Drax at that point.
He wasn't Drax. He was just Dave.
He was Drax in our hearts.
MCU was not a thing yet.
It was in our hearts.
No, we had what's his face is Peter Parker and Macho Man.
All right, we have the next match: John Cena versus The Rock. Now this one is a little tricky.
They've had more than one match.
They
Yes,
did.
They have.
I know which one it is, though.
That's why I said pay attention to wording. Whitney, which match is this? What WrestleMania did this take place and who won?
Is this the one where he set his name on fire? I don't know. If I had pictures, like if I had a picture of the match, I could
See,
tell
that makes
you
it
the
easy.
match. I know.
I think I know.
I'm gonna go. Let's see. John Cena as that John Cena. I forget how old I am sometimes. WrestleMania 23. And John Cena won. And don't ask me where it was.
Jordan.
It was WrestleMania 28 in Miami. And The Rock won this one because this was his hometown.
That is hilarious. Yes. WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida, and The Rock won. Whitney, where the hell did you get 23?
I don't know.
The Rock was in Hollywood for WrestleMania 23.
Was he? What was
He was.
Wasn't his last WrestleMania 19 before he went to Hollywood?
No. Before, he went to Hollywood, it was 20. Well, actually,
20.
no. 19 was like his last real. When he did WrestleMania 20, he was already very much in Hollywood. But 20 was the last time we saw him until 27 in Atlanta, which is where he hosted.
Right.
So.
Oh, this was right. He wasn't The Rock anymore. He was Dwayne.
He was
Dwayne
The Rock Johnson.
Did you just call him Jonathan?
No, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You
All
called
right.
him Jonathan.
This next match, we're Whitney. We got to get you up here. So this next match is worth double points. Okay, so You know, it's 2-2-2. Okay.
Can't you ask me about Undertaker matches?
You see,
I know Undertaker. I can tell you what kind of match it was.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you could. There's a missing slide here, but there is an Undertaker match in here. It's just missing. But whatever, I'll just say it anyway. But this is the next match. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Whitney.
This was Brock won, or not Brock. What's his? Roman won. This was 33 in Orlando. 34 in Orlando. Yeah.
I'll give it. All right, Jordan.
So this one, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, there was 2 of these matches, but because it's double points, I'm going to suspect that the winner of this match, number 1, was Seth Rollins. Number 2, this was WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco. Or San Fernandino, where the 49ers play or whatever.
Mad funny. Whitney actually got 2 points for this because it was WrestleMania 34
Wow!
in New Orleans. Technically, the match in Santa Clara is billed as a triple threat because Seth Rollins cashed in mid-match.
Woo! That was good.
So, WrestleMania 34 New Orleans. So, Whitney gets 2 points for this.
Who won?
You're still at 9. Oh, and Brock Lesnar won. This is the match that Brock Lesnar won. We all thought Roman was going to win.
Right.
And Brock Lesnar hit him with like 27 F5s. We were all playing with beach balls during the match.
That shit was
That was a fun night.
That was such a bad match.
New Orleans was so fun. Oh, there needs to be another WrestleMania in New Orleans. Like, soon. All right. So there is a missing slide. Whitney, you got this, okay?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Because I actually forgot which WrestleMania this happened at.
I remembered that Mark Calloway is scared of cucumbers today.
That's Big Rex. Wait, please do not make me laugh right now.
7
All
foot
right.
tall,
So
300-pound Undertaker is scared of cucumbers.
The Undertaker versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I'm telling you. Woo!
This is worth double points, Whitney.
Okay. Undertaker won. And this was at...
Clearly.
Oh, because this is like one of his last matches. Not Undertaker, it's Edge's. Or at least one of his last WrestleManias. This was... Undertaker won. This was... I'm trying to think back through.
It'll cost you a point, but would you like a hint?
No.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I love you.
I'm sorry, I love you. Oh, this was... Oh, my God. Oh, it was like in the final 4 of our freaking bracket.
You're really struggling, and I love it.
Was it not Orlando? Oh, God. I'm so bad at these things.
Okay, Jordan, should I just give her the points?
No. It was
Okay.
Undertaker won. It was WrestleMania 20... Not 25, because that's when those two... WrestleMania 28 in... I don't know. I don't know.
24 in Orlando.
Yes, 24 in Orlando, Whitney.
And Taker won.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, Taker won.
I'm sorry, I love you. Ric Flair,
Ric
Shawn
Flair versus
Michaels.
Michaels.
24 in Orlando.
4 is divisible by 8, or 8's divisible by 4. And I said Orlando originally.
All right, you guys are tied. 15 and 15.
That.
All right. Final match. The Rock versus Stone Cold.
Yes!
WWF Championship.
WrestleMania 17.
and it took place.
I don't know where it took place, but Stone Cold won. I don't know where it took place, but it was X7 and Stone Cold won.
Okay.
Oh, that's such. Oh, this is my favorite WrestleMania.
Okay, these are worth double points. So
I was gonna say
I don't know where it took place.
17.
He hit him with the chair,
Rock.
and then he hit
Austin.
him with the chair.
Houston. It took place in Houston. Took place in Houston in the Astrodome.
Dripping blood down their face. Oh, it's such a good match.
17, Houston, Astrodome.
I'll tell you how he won.
Austin
I'll
was
tell
the
you.
winner.
The Rock tapped, and he tapped into a Boston Crab.
I thought he beat him with the chair, and he just
He beat him with the chair, but Austin after that, because The Rock's bleeding. He's like blood streaming down his face. And yeah, Austin put him in a Boston Crab.
I just watched this match, so I or maybe I was just like, well, okay, it was X7 in Houston, Texas, so Jordan wins.
Hold on. Woo! I'm gonna see how he won.
Because I thought he was pinned, or maybe I just was ODing. But yes, Jordan wins the match. Congratulations.
Woo!
Search from WrestleMania Shop, from WWEshop.com or Pro Wrestling Tees from Moi.
Yay!
And oh wait, I put the wrong winner. No, I did put the right winner.
That match was a half hour long.
That match was a really long match.
That was a really long match.
It's such a good match. Oh, such a good.
So yeah.
That's also the same WrestleMania that Edge jumps off the ladder. And
oh, I can't.
It's too bright.
It's too bright. But Jordan wins with 21 points. And
Dang.
Whitney, you had 19 points. So there we go. That was our curtain jerk for today. I think that was pretty fun with the slides and stuff.
That was mad.
It was a nice little swerve. The Seth Rollins
triple threat.
The triple threat. It was a nice little swerve for y'all. So yeah. What's next? That was cute.
So what's next is our first trending wrestling topic for today. So effective April 10th, Scott. I don't even know their real names. The Revival have been granted their immediate releases from World Wrestling Entertainment. They were wished a best of luck in their future endeavors. So I think the question of the day is, where does the Revival go next?
Personally, what I want to see happen with the way everything's looking with Miss Rona. Oh God, I'm so dark. Let me flip this. With the way everything's looking with Miss Rona, it doesn't look like anything's going to be back to actual pay-per-views until like August or September. Which, if you do some math, that puts us right in line with it's all out now, right? All out. So I would love to see them sign on for that dream match at All Out, and then circle the indies. I know if I wasn't using my phone as a light, I'd pull it up, but somebody had mentioned NWA on our Instagram, and like that would be a really good fit for them too, because NWA is so like old school, and they're very old school, and that would still leave them with that freedom in the indies or New Japan or even the indies in Japan. I think they'd be fun to have a one-off on a DDT show, just because DDT is the best. But I would personally like to see them not sign exclusively anywhere. I know they've also had some injuries that have plagued both Dash and Scott. Right? Scott and Dash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think signing them to a long-term contract would necessarily be a wise decision for any company. Or an exclusive contract, like if Impact picked them up exclusively, or if AEW picked them up exclusively. I don't think that they have that big of a pull. And with like the constant injuries back and forth between the two of them, I don't see either of them. This may be like one last hurrah. So like, I'd like to see that dream match in AEW of them with the Young Bucks, because that's gone on forever before they were even on NXT. So, yes, in conclusion.
I'm happy for them. This is clearly something that they've been trying to get for a little bit of time. Listen,
Years.
Yeah,
I
literally
mean,
years.
you know, we all give WWE a lot of grief. I do think that there do need to be certain overhauls in their focus for certain things. This is a giant company; they do juggle a lot. There does need to be some overhauls in certain ways, especially in their tag team divisions. They have so many phenomenal tag teams, and I just feel like the tag team divisions kind of get put on the back burner.
It's
I
like the
saw some,
same three.
yeah, I saw some people kind of giving them the old Sasha Banks treatment from when Sasha had left after WrestleMania last year, calling them crybabies that they want to leave. They got multiple title reigns and they were this, that, and the fourth. I'm like, listen, someone even said in a page that I'm a part of, like, oh, they walked out on reportedly $700,000 a year per. Um, like, are they crazy? I'm like, it's not about the money. These are two guys who love wrestling,
Right.
and it's about the love of wrestling. It's not about them. Like, they could go anywhere and make money. I'm sure. I don't, of course, I don't know them personally. I don't know their personal lives or anything, but I'm sure they could go out and get a real job in regular corporate America and make money there. But because they love wrestling so much, this is where they want to be at. And they were signed to the biggest wrestling company in the world. It didn't work out. I would love to see them come back in the future, but it didn't work out, and they're going to go travel the world now. These are two guys who clearly have left an impact in the WWE locker room, because you have so many messages from everyone, the women, of course, Sasha Banks and Bailey were really close with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they helped train them when Sasha Banks and Bailey were like really a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Just so many people love them. Of course, they loved work. They always talk about how much they loved working with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable.
Right.
They had that really fun run with Randy Orton before they randomly
Right.
split them up at the shakeup.
Right.
And it's something so good going with that trio, and you're just
Right.
like, just kidding.
I'm really happy. This is what they wanted. So if this is what they wanted, then I'm happy for them. I'm glad that they are getting what they feel like they deserve. I, would love it. I would love to see them come back in the future. Maybe they go out there, overhaul. I don't know, do something different. Maybe WWE is just like, yeah, we'll bring you back. Maybe this is a time where maybe Vince has stepped back and Triple H is now more on the forefront. Who knows? I don't want them to go straight to AEW. I actually want them to go to places like New Japan. I want them to go, do other things. I would love for them to, but I don't want them to run cold. So, you don't want that match with the Young Bucks to run cold. So I would much rather they go as soon as possible. But either way, Dash and Dawson, we are going to miss you in WWE. But we are excited for where you guys go in the future.
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback off of what Angie was saying. Wherever they go, I'm going to be very, very excited. And like, the Revival clearly did leave an impact in WWE. They had some amazing, while things didn't really work out as they projected on the main roster because of injuries and booking mishaps, the stuff they did in NXT was absolutely unbelievable. The stuff they did with American Alpha, the triple threat tag match that they had at TakeOver Orlando, were just some great, great matches. As far as where
the triple threat at TakeOver Orlando. Oh, I love that match.
That was such a phenomenal match. But if I had to think about where they were gonna go next, based off of the fact, and I feel like everybody's saying AEW, which I feel like they're gonna eventually get to, but based off of their identity as a tag team, this idea of being an old school classic wrestling tag team, I definitely see them in the NWA. I definitely see them doing some stuff in the NWA, and I think that they'll be an amazing fit because of just like their pride in old school tag team wrestling. I could see them doing a couple shows with them, maybe even winning their titles and then giving it up easily and then going into AEW. And I feel like AEW would offer them a lucrative contract because I feel like part of the reasons why Dash and Dawson had the injuries and kind of they just went back to back is because of one, their age, right? But like also their work schedule. You know, when you're on the road 300 days a year, you're more likely to get injured. And with AEW not doing any house shows, only having 4 major pay-per-views a year, and you know, now they're in a place where they have 1 show a week. Since they signed that extension with TNT, they may expand into another show, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do tapings on the same day as Dynamite. So it's not like they're going to be, you know, doing multiple shows in multiple places a week. But I definitely see them going to the NWA first. And because the NWA is connected with Ring of Honor, and because Ring of Honor is with New Japan, they could easily kind of go between those 3 promotions and kind of do their thing for a couple months and then go to AEW and have that match with the Bucks. I would love to see them go up against the Bucks for their tag team titles. So that may take a little bit of time, but yeah, we want to know what you guys think as far as the Revival and where do you think that they will land. Did y'all have any final thoughts?
Yeah, really quickly before you move on, I was at that Raw after WrestleMania when they came up. It was the Raw right after Orlando where they came up to the main roster, and I just remember the pop for them was huge. Okay, like I remember they came out, faced the New Day, and they were going to be the next best thing, and then one of them got injured, and then they come back in the summer. Next month gets injured, and then they come back, and then something else happens, and then you know it just like it literally just didn't work out the way that it should have for them. But that's why I say I hope they do come back and they truly get that big run that they deserve as a team.
Yeah, because they're not. You look at the New Day, and they're very much. They can have those solo runs, but I don't think Dash and Wilder have necessarily solo appeal because they're so intertwined as a tag team.
Right.
Whereas, like, we watched all the New Day as solos and then become a tag team. Does that make sense?
That definitely
makes. No, it definitely makes a lot of sense.
Which I think killed a lot of the steam because they both got injured, like, back to back.
Literally back to back.
Literally back to back. All right. So, moving on from that, we're going to be moving into our second trending wrestling topic of the week. And this is going from WWE to AEW because over the past couple of weeks, All Elite Wrestling has announced the inception of a brand new championship, the TNT Championship, and they have
that's what the other one was?
Yep.
I thought it was No, I legitimately thought it was something else.
Well, what you thought it was?
I thought it was something just happened. What the hell? Oh, I thought it was the XFL.
We can talk about that too. That's coming next. But I want to talk about wrestling.
About a bunch of stuff. But keep going. Yep.
So,
wrestling.
With the inception of this title, they have also announced a tournament, an 8-man single elimination tournament,
bracket
style, and the finalists will go head to head at All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing, which we don't know if it's still happening or not because of Auntie Rona. So the wrestlers include Cody Rhodes, Shawn Spears, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, who else? Lance Hoyt, as well as some other wrestlers. So I just wanted to get your take. Is this the right move for AEW to unveil a third championship?
I mean, yeah, because they needed something, because it's getting not boring, because they're putting on good matches, but there's something missing where they need something else there. I'm really excited. I really liked AEW this week. I thought it was a good show. I think it'll be a really fun way to kind of introduce some of the guys who we've seen but haven't like fully gotten a taste of, like Darby and like Sammy. Darby Allin is insane and it's not afraid to do anything. When he signed to AEW, I lost it because he's just insane. I think Jimmy Havoc's in the tournament too, which he, is known a lot for his hardcore wrestling and death matches, but is also really good technical because he came up through that same class as like Will Ospreay and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and that British strong style group of guys. So he's really good technically, which I think gets overlooked a lot because he has a staple gun, and which to do deathmatch wrestling, I can't even imagine what goes through your head. But
right.
I think it'll be a really fun introduction to a lot of the guys who are on the roster and just haven't gotten that full, I think, proper introduction, because AEW has been having kind of more of the top known guys like Chris Jericho or like Cody and Kenny and the Bucks and stuff kind of take the reins as things get established, and then kind of gradually start to add the other guys in. So I think it's a really good chance to introduce those people. I think it'll be fun. And then I'd like to see it, since it's called the TNT title and not like the North American title or something, I would love to see it end up in like an NBA locker room, or somebody's throwing out an opening pitch and the catcher comes out or the mascot comes out. And I'd love to see it like defended somewhere else. But that's just me on a personal note.
Feel that.
I think it's because it's a TNT title, we're going to see it all over the place.
Yeah.
Like basketball games on TNT, they're going to have the TNT champion there. Baseball, whatever they have playing on TNT, they're going to have the TNT champion there. Probably doing commercials. AEW is built like an old school wrestling company.
Right.
So they're going to do things a lot more old school. So I definitely think it's good. I don't think that it's going to be considered really a mid-card championship. I just think it's going to be considered something. I think it's going to be treated as well as the AEW World Championship is, just something a little bit more alternative to that title. I do think Cody is a shoo-in for that that match, the finals match. When I looked at the brackets, I was like, oh, perfect. Cody versus Dustin. They can redo their match from, what was it, Double or Nothing?
Ooh. Yeah. No. Their first match was All Out.
Yeah,
it was All Out.
All Out.
Whatever it was.
Wasn't it?
No. It was Double or Nothing.
No, it was Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. And then
out.
they started tagging together, and then they went up against the Bucks.
Out, yeah.
Yeah. So you could definitely do Cody and Dustin at WrestleMania. WrestleMania.
Wow.
Where am I?
I was just waiting for you to catch yourself.
Where am I? I am not here. It's late. I'm tired. Yeah, you can definitely do them at whatever they're gonna do. If they do Double or Nothing in front of in a closed set like WrestleMania, or if they just wait and wait for Auntie Rona to
pass over,
skedaddle. But yeah, I mean, it's a good introduction. I definitely think it's something that's needed.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it's needed as well. I feel like the gap between, not the gap, but kind of like the lack of a third championship gave the remainder of the roster kind of like not a lackluster feel, but just there was nothing to fight for. You can only fight over so many personal things for so long. There has to be a prize on the line. And I feel like because Warner Media has a credible media network, a TNT championship is something to me that's credible. And like what Angie was saying, it could be seen as an alternative championship and not necessarily a mid-card title. I could see them doing stuff different. I could see the TNT champion being used to promote a lot of other Turner ventures. Because remember, Turner has a stake in the Atlanta Braves. Turner has a stake in Cartoon Network. Turner has a stake in all these different ventures. So we can expect to see the TNT champion in those other ventures representing All Elite Wrestling. And considering that this is kind of like a world TV title, I think it's very, very cool considering the lineage of world television championships, specifically on wrestling networks on Turner. With WCW, like they had a really, really good television championship picture. And I'm going to throw this in the mix. Who do you think is going to be the first champion?
I'm trying to find the bracket.
I'm gonna
Well,
go on.
if it goes the way that I think it's gonna go. Who won their first match between Cody and Dustin?
I think
Cody.
Cody did.
Um, I don't know. It's almost
Okay, okay,
kind
okay.
I don't know. It's almost kind of like doing 50-50 booking,
Oh my
but
God, Larry Tucson.
I would actually have Dustin go over.
And win the match. I think. Oh, here are the wrestlers. This Kip Sabian, Darby Allin, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Cody, Colt Cabana, uh,
Cool.
Lance
Cabana.
Archer, and yeah.
Cool.
So those are the participants in the tournament.
I think personally, everybody is kind of known, but it's a good chance to put over Kip Sabian or Sammy or Darby. People are super into Darby.
Yeah.
Like, the people love Darby. Uh, so I would love to see Cody and Darby versus, like, I think Kip would be really fun against Colt Cabana. But I also think Dustin and Lance Archer would have an amazing match. But I'd really like to see Darby win just because of personal reasons, and I think that's somebody that could have a lot of really fun, if you think back to like the old hardcore title, and could have a lot of fun matches in that style, where he just slams somebody through a ceiling.
Right. Just casually.
Yeah, just
I think if it's going the way that I think it's gonna go, I think we're gonna see Cody and Lance in the finals, because Jake the Snake, who's the new manager of Lance, who has been cutting some top tier promos, might I add,
so
has
good.
been building up the idea of a Lance Hoyt Cody Rhodes match. Cody has responded saying that he needs to prove himself. He had his debut match. He went through Marco's stunt. And now that he's in the tournament, he has the ability to have two other credible matches to make the case that he can go against Cody in just a non-title match, let alone a match for this new championship. I think that when it comes down to it, though, I think that Cody's going to be the first champion. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at All Elite Wrestling's kind of formula for building championships, they like to associate a credible name to the title as their first title holder. So SCU was the first tag team to win the championship. SCU is a faction with Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, which is a very, very well-known, well-established tag team that's well-traveled and well-known in multiple promotions. Rio was a superstar in Japan and one of the best wrestlers to come out of that line of students. And I feel like because Cody kind of put the clause on himself that, if he lost to Chris Jericho, that he could not compete for the world championship again. And because of how over Cody is, I think that this is kind of Cody's way to get a championship under his belt, represent the TNT Championship, maybe have a couple of defenses, and then maybe get beaten by somebody like a Sammy Guevara, or him and MJF could have a rematch and MJF could take the title off for him. But there's so many different ways that we can go with this, but I'm very, very excited to see what comes of this. But does anybody have any final thoughts? Or
I mean, going back to the Cody thing, especially we're getting ready to come into sweeps and stuff like that. So having a title on him while he's doing press junkets, I can see that.
I don't have any final thoughts on this, but as we were recording, SmackDown is going on. I want to see you guys' little reactions to this. The Forgotten Sons have been called up to SmackDown.
wow.
Mm-hmm. And next week we will be getting Big E versus Jey Uso versus The Miz for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
In another triple threat match?
And another triple threat singles match.
Okay.
So that is what's going on SmackDown right now. I'm trying to see if anything else is happening.
Yeah, clearly really upset I'm missing that.
The Forgotten Son gives me Sanity 2.0 vibes in the sense that they were pretty well used in NXT, but I don't know how over they're going to be on the main roster.
I never really liked them on NXT.
I like them. I like the vibe. They were good foil. They were good foil for Street Profits.
Yeah, but like as far as like on a main roster,
They were also, encouraging these little Trump supporters.
yeah, that too.
Oh, that's a dub.
I was like, oh
They
no.
them and their buddy Dijakovic.
Wait, him too?
Dijakovic made.
Okay, well, we'll talk about this off
We'll
air.
talk about this off the air, but we want to
We'll talk
know.
about this
We
off
want to
air.
know how you guys feel about this this TNT Championship and the possibilities that it can bring. But we're gonna move on to the next trending topic that may or may not have to do with wrestling because of also
Vince
effective
McMahon owns
today,
it.
huh?
I said, well, Vince McMahon owns it, so
Vince
it's still
McMahon owns it, so it's a trending wrestling topic, right? Also effective today, the XFL is no more. They have suspended the day-to-day operations and have laid off all of their employees. The XFL was kind of underway at the beginning of the year. They signed multiple media distribution deals with ABC, Fox, ESPN. They had to suspend their season, I think, after 5 or 6 games because of the coronavirus. And, they announced the suspension of their season. And then they went on to suspend the entire league. So the XFL being canceled. Once again, thoughts?
I think they went too hard in the paint for their first season. Like, I think Vince in his head thought that it was going to be bigger than what it was because that's how Vince is. And I think that he felt like this is going to be the next best thing and just start bringing in the money. So kind of invested more than he should have. And I don't think he likes losing profit. So it's not very common for things in their first year to turn a profit. You're breaking even in your first few years. That's usually pretty good with a business. So I think it's not turning a profit anymore, especially now that Rona's not happening. And beside that, like, I think the cap out for employees for a season was like $25,000, which isn't even a living wage. So yeah, I just was never behind the reestablishment of the XFL because of the same reason it went under the first time. It's a novel idea. Maybe like once a year have a cool XFL game. That could be fun. Something to do like Mania weekend, like a Friday afternoon or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I think as a whole, we have the Canadian Football League if we want to watch something like that.
Oh no. From a lot of people that I've heard from, they actually were really enjoying the XFL.
Yeah.
So, it was a good alternative to football. Now, I don't watch sports. I don't watch basketball. I watch wrestling. That's what I watch.
That's about it.
So I'll watch it if I'm there. Like, if you buy me tickets to a football game, I'll go and I'll watch the game. Mostly I'll be on my phone. I'll take a couple of cute little, football game. But
make sure everybody knows where you are.
Right. But that's it. Baseball game. I'm at the front.
Not I'm at the front.
I don't even what's it called? I'm behind the home plate. But that's it.
I don't even want to be behind home plate.
Whatever.
It's better behind the dugout.
I'm somewhere. I'm close. See, I don't know because I don't watch sports. My point is, I heard from a lot of people that it was going pretty well. It was something that I was going to maybe turn into a game at some. No, I wasn't. I don't know why I'm lying to you. People were liking it, and it sucks because a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of the players that were hired, not only that, but a lot of the people who were working behind the scenes are losing their jobs.
Right.
And it always sucks to see people lose their jobs. No matter who you are, you need money to survive.
That's a fact.
So, it sucks, but I really do hope, like you were saying, they weren't turning a profit, and I saw a lot of people kind of bashing it almost, and I'm just like, well, they're in their first year,
Yeah.
In their first year, I didn't expect them to turn a profit this year. I didn't expect them to turn a profit next year. They probably weren't going to start turning a profit for real until about 2023, 2024.
That's a fact.
Maybe. So they were going to be playing these games at a loss for maybe like 2 to 3 years. So, it sucks, that the second time around people were loving it, and it seemed that the XFL had pretty much found their footing and found their groove. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, I would love for them to kind of come back. If not for me watching it, just for the people who need that job.
Right.
I would love for it to, come back next season, or even if they just make the decision to do like a, something different, I would love for it to just come back for those people. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is with the XFL is that while it's mostly dragged in ridicule for its initial inaugural season in 2001 and how the concept was just so out there, from the nicknames on the back of the jerseys to the borderline strippers converted to cheerleaders, it was just a concept and an idea that wasn't necessarily, it wasn't ahead of its time, it wasn't behind its time, it just felt like the WWE in the form of football.
It wasn't executed properly.
That wasn't executed properly. And it's interesting because I felt like the XFL's strategy and inception this time around was kind of perfect. It wasn't competing with the NFL. And even though it's not necessarily an NFL equivalent, the fact of the matter is that there are people who miss football from the time the Super Bowl ends until training camp starts. That's from end of February to like August. So the XFL not only had an opportunity, but they had a market. When you looked at, the TV ratings, they were doing pretty good for a football league in its inaugural season. You looked at the stands, people were in the stands, people seemed to be engaged, and they were doing some stuff that was different. The pace was a lot faster. The sideline interviews made them very distinct. The presentation was very different, kind of going off of what Angie was saying, like, didn't really expect them to turn a profit this year or next year, but it's a football league that doesn't have any money. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be funded just to be
funded
started.
Directly via Vince, and it was funded via Vince, like, directly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So off his little paychecks.
Right. So it was just like, I feel like
deposit, honey. Bit off more than he could chew for a first season. Would have made more sense. Like, have 4 teams and have 8 games the first season, or not 8 games. Have like 4 teams and have 4 games the first season. So you get that introduction, the toe in the water before, like, what they have, 12 teams?
They had 12 teams. I mean, that's a good, I don't even think that the problem was the fact that they had a little amount of teams, or they were too, like, lavish, or they were too, like, flamboyant, or they were trying to, like, do too much. They kind of did the bare minimum for a football league or a sporting league. It was just bad timing. Like, I don't think that anybody expected, a pandemic that mirrors something that hasn't been done since 1918 in the Spanish flu. Nobody expected that to come and just sweep the nation. You know what I mean? So I think that they had all the elements in place. I feel like they had an opportunity and a market, but the problem was just the timing and the difference between the XFL and all these other professional sports leagues, because those sports leagues like the NFL, the NBA, the MLS, the NHL, the NFL, they have been solidified for years, have brought in billions of dollars, so they have capital to fall back on, so that in a time like this, they're not necessarily panicking. You know what I'm saying?
You still have plenty of revenue coming in from merch sales.
Right.
I mean, you look at how much money the Yankees make off merch versus tickets. Yankees make more money off merch than they do ticket sales.
That's a fact.
Teams like the Yankees, teams like New England, the Patriots.
The Yankees have transcended being a sports team, and the Yankees is a way of life now.
Well, and that's where, like, you've got these major sports leagues that can fall back on that, and the XFL doesn't have that. Like, WWE does.
Right.
Because people are going to watch the WWE Network. People are going to buy their shirts and their cups and their chairs and their hats and their whatever they lights. I mean, you name it, it's on the WWE shop. Timing was wrong, which is nothing on their part. And I think maybe for an inaugural season, if you don't want to lose a profit, maybe start a little slower.
Right.
Don't go full out. We're going a full 12 teams, a full 12 game season with postseasons and everything like it's a full NFL season. Maybe just slow down a little bit and be like, okay, let's just start. Here's 6 teams. We're going to have, 4 games this season just to kind of introduce and kind of pick up that pace. And then you've got the money that you invested. You're paying the people well, because no athlete should be paid under a living wage.
Right.
Yeah.
Thing is, like, just to kind of reinforce the whole idea of all these other leagues just having more capital than the XFL, this past season, the season before, the NBA announced that they will be able to put sponsors on jerseys. Mm-hmm. And every team charges about $15 to $20 million to have a company on jersey. So if you take those 30 teams, you multiply it by 20 million. Now the league is bringing in an extra $600 million just off of sponsors on jerseys. Not to mention like swingman jerseys, replica jerseys, authentic jerseys, deals with different networks, deals with different companies that officially sponsor. So you have like
video games,
like the list goes on and on. The NBA can make enough money to pay everybody and not operate for a year. You know what I mean? At least a year. So I mean, yeah. But
if you want to look up something interesting sometime, so you know how they have the Veterans Game in the NFL every year?
Right.
Look up how much the Army National Guard pays for that game.
I will. I'm gonna do that, but
it's because the NFL doesn't do that out of the kindness of their heart. The Army pays for that, and they cough up a pretty penny to get that logo on the side of an NFL jersey.
Solid. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. But if anybody has anything to say about the death of the XFL, please comment below. Let us know how you feel.
Listen.
Anyway.
Bye.
So.
It was worth it.
Not only is it our 3rd anniversary show, but this is airing a direct week after WrestleMania 36, the WrestleMania that was too big for one night, that was also hosted by former New England Patriots lineman Rob Gronkowski. So this show is filled with a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But I'm just going to ask this question. We're going to wrap it up. The top 3 matches of WrestleMania 36 and why?
I'll go first.
All right.
Number 3, Firefly Fun House. I love Bray Wyatt getting to be completely in his element, and that was him completely in his element. Mm-hmm. It just he's so creative, and he's finally, I think, found his perfect niche of mixing wrestling with creative with his just weird personality. So that was number 3. Number 2. Ooh. I feel so bad leaving the women completely out of my top 3, but I'm going to have to go with KO and Seth Rollins because KO jumped off the sign, and KO, like, it started so slow, but after Seth hit him with the bell and Kevin was like, no, get back out here, no DQs, and just went completely all out, and he got his WrestleMania moment. I love Kevin Owens so much as both Kevin Owens and Kevin Steen, both as a person and both as a wrestler. So yeah, for him to have his WrestleMania moment, and not only have a WrestleMania moment, but have that WrestleMania moment where you jump off the WrestleMania sign, amazing. And then of course, my number 1 moment, no shocker, Boneyard match. I laughed, I cried, literally. I love Undertaker with all my heart. Undertaker will always be my favorite wrestler. Undertaker is why I started watching wrestling. And that was, if it ends up being his swan song, I know he had a lot of regret and disappointment after his match with Goldberg and didn't want to finish his career on that note, and wanted somebody who would give him just a beautiful chef's kiss of a match. And I think he said Kurt Angle was the one who told him to get in touch with AJ, that you will not regret it, because, and they made something magic where AJ has that just over-the-top personality that matches what The Undertaker originally was back in the day when he had Paul Bearer and they had the little urn, and you think of like the Buried Alive matches and the casket matches, and AJ has that same old school energy while making it new school. And it was just beautifully recorded, beautifully produced. I mean, we got American Badass back, and it just, the end when AJ's going to dump the backhoe, and then all of a sudden Taker's behind him, because you're like, wait, he's dead, so he can outlive this. And then of course at the end they had the final just homage back to my favorite wrestling match of all time, with the hand popping out of the ground. So it just, for me, it made me feel like I was 6 years old again watching that Undertaker Mankind match. And it was a special match, and if it ends up being his swan song, which it may be, definitely was a good one to send him out on.
For me, I'm actually gonna add in a moment.
Okay.
Because there's one moment that I absolutely adored. So as far as top three, considering everything, 3 would be, I loved Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Such a well wrestled match. Everybody doesn't like the outcome, but listen, when you just accept the fact that she is the queen, you understand that she's just gonna win everything. That's it. If you can't beat them, join them type stuff. Listen, the fans of Rhea Ripley, I'm a big fan of Rhea Ripley too. I think she's super awesome. I know a lot of them were upset, that Charlotte won, which of course you're going to be upset that your fave lost. Listen, I went through this through the back half of 2016. 3 times in a row.
Sasha Banks stay losing at WrestleMania.
Oh my God. And I'm not even talking about just WrestleMania. She lost at SummerSlam.
Any pay-per-view.
Lost at Hell in a Cell. She lost at Roadblock End of the Line. It we're not going to go back. We are in 2020, and she will soon become SmackDown Women's Champion and stab Bayley in the back, even though we love Bayley. Anyway.
Trisha. I don't know who Bayley is.
Next moment is actually going to be Otis and Mandy. I really wish that this was in front of a crowd.
Oh, it would have been so over.
Yeah, it would have been so incredible. And I'm gonna rope this in as well. I know it's cheating, but I don't care. It's my show. Shoot me. Bianca Belair. That was a moment. Like, I have the recording from. Oh, first of all, shout out to everybody who joined our Zoom parties. Everybody who joined.
That's a fact.
So fun. It was so fun. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Andre. Shout out to everybody who joined over the over both days. So much fun. We did record it, the entire thing. So for night 2. So you definitely get my pop for Bianca coming out. And it's funny because we're all watching on a different delay.
There's
so all of us
10 seconds.
Everybody's like, hey. It's like so funny.
Legit.
But I definitely popped for Bianca. I was just like, yes, like I lost my mind. I absolutely adore that woman. And my best match of WrestleMania, my favorite match was the Boneyard match. The Boneyard match was just so great. It was the best thing on that show. It was so fun. Like, I think everyone just like it was one of those things where you could really just watch it and just like, oh, this was fun.
Right.
Like
It
was
didn't need
such
a backstory. It didn't.
it was so fun, and I just enjoyed it so much. Honorable mention, of course, is Bailey retaining the SmackDown Women's Championship with the help of Sasha Banks, furthering that story. So I'm excited for that.
Talk
and
about
of course,
the
Drew.
Zoom stream. Yes,
Yeah.
Drew!
I love that moment where like he looked at the camera and told us thank you. I was just like, it won my heart. I was just like,
Yeah,
Drew.
he's another one of those people
Love
that you
you.
just want to have things. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, I know I just said 1,500 things, but Jordan, go ahead.
oh man, the Intercontinental match was really good too.
It was.
Sammy and yeah.
Oh yeah, Jennifer. You know what? This match.
It was overall a pretty good WrestleMania.
WrestleMania just happened, and I already don't remember half the matches that happened.
Oh shoot, we didn't even have nearly as much as we had to put up with last year.
Sheamus has his old haircut back.
Yeah, he been had his old haircut back.
Wait,
But-
what's this?
I'm gonna give my 3 matches before everybody
Okay,
gets
yeah,
sidetracked.
please do that.
I'm gonna give my 3
I'm
matches.
gonna
So,
mute myself.
coming in at number 3 is the triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I think that this was definitely a slept-on match because all 3 of these athletes that were involved in these matches were phenomenal. Anytime you have Kofi involved in a match that has anything to do with superb athleticism and you put him in the ring with John Morrison, are you kidding me? Like, it was a masterclass on creativity with a ladder, and it was honestly one of the top 5 that I've ever seen at a WrestleMania at the very least. My number 2 match was definitely the Firefly Funhouse with John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Bray got his redemption from WrestleMania 30, and that was Bray's element. I felt like that was a really, really well-produced, well-thought-out piece of work that was able to put Bray Wyatt over and kind of cement him as a star in the WWE. Just the references that they used, this is such good with Vince, that was great. And my number 1 match, as comes of no surprise, the Undertaker versus AJ Styles Boneyard match. I think that it was Jeremy Borash, who I believe helped produce this, which makes sense because he helped Matt Hardy put together a lot of this stuff and Impact with the Broken Universe stuff. So that comes of no surprise, but they did an amazing job from top to bottom. If this is Taker's last match, what a way to go out. And I firmly believe this is a top 5 Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this is one of Taker's best matches ever. The fact that he was able to take the American Badass persona and give him Deadman powers made him human, but still maintained the surrealness and the mystique about Undertaker that made him so special. But yeah, this past WrestleMania was a really good WrestleMania, and above all else, the fact that we're still getting new wrestling content in an era of sports that is suspended is always a blessing. Literally, there is no other sport entity that is creating content right now except for professional wrestling. NWA is doing it, AEW is doing it, and WWE is doing it. So the fact, like, WrestleMania is the Super Bowl, is the World Series, is the NBA Finals. And if Corona was happening during any of those things, then those things would have had to be pushed back. But the fact that WrestleMania, in the midst of coronavirus, happened is a blessing alone. So shout out to WWE for putting on a hell of a show given the circumstances. That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 20. I'm Jay the Creative.
First Class Carter.
I'm still Whitney.
And we'll see you guys next week.